do we know the foods? Do we have time for that? We have a little bit of time. Let's try for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's stretch. So, uh, I'm sorry to say, the way that the foods were taught in the Eman isn't correct because it doesn't follow the right definition for a food. A food is something that has to uh, evolve inside of you. Okay, you eat an apple. It goes into the digestive process. Yeah, it gets broken down. It goes through the air, earth, or earth, water, air, and fire phases. Okay, and it becomes an electrical thing inside of you, an electrical energy that gives you the ability to think, emote, and move. Yeah, it's no longer an apple. You can't take an apple, put it in your ear, and expect to have brilliant thoughts from it. It evolves inside of you. Science doesn't understand how air works, but in the East they do, right? In China and India and whatnot, they understood that certain breathing exercises have a nutritional value to it, but it's a higher form of nutrition. And so you begin to breathe and you extract certain electrical signals out of the air. You kick out what's not needed, just like you kick out the unneeded portions of the apple, and you retain that. And that's your second food. Your third food, which science definitely doesn't understand, but the East did, has to do with your impressions. But the problem is that the planet doesn't care if you have full impressions. So it doesn't vivify them like it does the air. The planet actually vivifies the air. It vivifies the food that you eat, right? It puts those things in there. It compels you to breathe. For example, it does not compel you to have impressions. Actively, I should say. You passively do, okay? Because it is part, it's just not strong enough. If you don't go through life vivifying your own impressions, I see it all now. I'm watching you do it. Yeah. Start talking about it. People are like, oh shit, I forgot. It's okay. You start vivifying those impressions because whatever you put into them, that little bit that you can put into that, being conscious of the moment, being present, whatever the case is, you get to keep that. You see, and then that sounds a whole nother octave in you. Yeah, we know the shocks, don't we? We know where the shocks are. Let's do this real quick. Give you something to work on. So, do, re, mi, shock. Okay? You eat physical food, banana, whatever the case is, and it goes do, re, mi, and then it can't go any further on its own. It lacks the force to do so. It's already been depleted, if you will, okay, in hydrogen 768, 384, and 192. What it requires is air. Air comes in at hydrogen 192 and vivifies the food so it can go fa, sol, la, si. All right, and C being like sperm or ovum or sexual energy in general. All right, that's where the banana ends up. And parts of it end up as creativity, but it always ends up, that's its final destination. All right, but then air comes in as do and goes do, re, mi at 192. 192, 96, 48. It becomes the hydrogen for the moving center and for the lower order of impressions. Impressions come in passively into the system at this shock, but they only sound the note of do, all right, because you're receiving them passively. You're not actively seeking those impressions. You're just kind of, not you, but you understand, like just whatever's washing into your senses. If you don't pay any attention to it and don't remember yourself in the moment, then all it has the force to do is to cross this border of the air octave and go fa, sol, la, si, and add more hydrogen 12 into your complex from the air octave, but it stops there, stops at do. The octave of impressions is where you make conscious effort. As you go through life, there's very important things. Have active activate your impressions, and remember you as you do it. And here's the reason why. It's kind of a trick. I'll tell you what I mean. Okay. Uh, Impressions come in at hydrogen 48. So let's say you're looking at a tree, okay, and here's your eye, and the tree, photons from the tree are coming in, and so is the chirping of birds and the breeze on your face, but it's all passive. All right. This generates hydrogen 48 to be able to allow that air octave to continue its progression as kind of like a shock. It comes in, helps that air octave finish its journey. But if you do this passively and just, it's washing into you, that's all that happens. If, however, you take your mental life, erase this, you take your mental life and watch yourself watching the tree, you've created a second impression. You've created another hydrogen 28 from your mental life, or 48 from your mental life. Having two simultaneous observations, you in the moment, looking at the tree, and now you've got enough of that vivification process to be able to go do, re, mi in that octave of the mentality. You see, you can then get past that or get past that incomplete do that the mentality has and go do, re, mi. Now, what comes in for that? It's not impressions. I'll give you the biggest hint you've ever had. It's attendance. Because the mental life can only go do, re, mi once it's vivified. Trust me, if you accomplish just that, you will already begin to open up so much in yourself. All right. You will have such a vivid life. You'll be able to recall things that you've never been able to do before. Such vividness. So try to do this exercise. But what the Eamon opened up was this aspect of something attending. Because if you get an angelic presence or an archangelic presence, talking about the realms of hydrogen 12 and 6, exuding into your atmosphere, it can then finish that octave for you. And this is what was meant by breaking the stop situation for humans, right? You couldn't go any farther than that, no matter how hard you tried. Take something like the fourth way, it will get you to do, re, mi in the mental level or the realm of impressions, but it won't get you fa, sol, la, si. Only something from the outside, an attendance, what attends your life, will be able to do that. So that's the reason why so many things were put under the umbrella of that domain. That's why we can literally, if you know the laws, get into any kind of topic and begin to unlock it. It's not really you. It is, it's your effort, but the inspiration that comes from it is the unseen world saying, wow, Corvo, Ion, Sam, Hannah, Mark, wow, look at the bright light you're making here. Let me help you out. They come to help. When people get it all wrong, they think personal development is all personal, I'm gonna run the fine race, do this all myself. You can get pretty far that way, but you can't get all the way.